Hello everyone, I'm Paul and this is problem 3517, smallest palindromic rearrangement 1. This is a medium problem and the key to solve it is observation, so let's start. We are given a palindromic string S. In case you know what a palindrome is, it's a string that reads the same forward and backward. For example, if we're given this input, it reads the same forward and backward. We have to return the lexicographically smallest palindromic permutation of the string that we are given. In case you know what a permutation is, it's a rearrangement of characters. For example, if we are given this string, one possible permutation is B, 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 A, A. Okay? Now the thing is that we are trying to get the lexicographically smallest palindromic permutation of S, and this is not a palindrome. In this case, the result is the string A, B, 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 A. Why? Well, because this is a valid permutation. This is a rearrangement of these characters. We have the same characters. And this is a palindrome also. This reads the same forward and backward. And among valid palindromes, this is the lexicographically smallest one. So we have to return this. Now maybe you are thinking about iterating every possible permutation of this string. The question is, how many permutations can we have? Well, let's say that we are building a string with 5 characters. And we start from this character. What are the possible choices here? Well, we have 5 characters available, meaning 5 choices available. Next, we are standing at this index. So, what are the choices here? How many characters do we have available? Well, 4. Next, from here, meaning from here, we have 3 characters available. From here, we have 2, and from here, we have 1. So, we have 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 possible permutations, which is the same as n factorial permutations. Here n can be up to 10 to the power of 5, and this factorial is a huge number which we can't handle. So there's no way to iterate all permutations. We have to think about something else. I told you that the trick here was observation, and that's because of the following. Palindromes are mirrors. This means that the first part is a mirror of the second part, and if we are looking for the lexicographically smallest palindromic permutation of this string, we can sort the first part in ascending order and sort the second part in decreasing order. If we sort this, we get A, B. If we sort this in decreasing order, we get B, A. And what do we do with this element in the middle? Well, we keep it as it is. We put it here in the final result. Why? Because of the nature of palindromes. For every element to the left, we have to have the same element to the right. So if we have a B here, we have to have another B here. If we have an A here, we have to have another A here. So we have even frequencies for elements that are to the left and right. And if we have an add frequency, such as in this case, we have 3 B's, if we have an add frequency, the element corresponding to this add frequency has to go in the middle. This is very important to preserve the nature of palindromes. Remember that the final result is a permutation of the original string. If in this original string we have an add frequency, the character corresponding to this add frequency has to go in the middle. So if we have an add frequency, we keep the character in the middle as it is. And what if we don't have this character? We only have 4 characters. Well, that's it. We just mirror the corresponding parts, and this is the final string. So just to be clear, we split the string that we are given in 2 parts. If we have an element in the middle, we keep it as it is. We sort the left part in ascending order and the right part in descending order. Then we join everything, and this is the final result. This is the lexicographically smallest palindromic permutation of this string. And by doing this, we solve the problem in big O of n log n because of sorting, and space complexity would be big O of n because of the required space for sorting and all the substrings that we are using. So with this in mind, let's go with the code. First, we can say that n is the length of the string that we are given, Now we can check if this length modulo 2 is equal to 1. In this scenario, we have an add length, so we have an element in the middle that has to stay as it is. The first half is a sorted array from a substring from index 0 up to n divided by 2. And the second half is a sorted array from a substring, and here we go from n divided by 2 plus 1, because we have to skip the element in the middle up to the end of the array. And we want this second half in descending order, so we use reverse is equal to true. And now we can return a call to join with h1 plus an array with the element in the middle at n divided by 2 plus the second half. Why do we use an array here? Well, because h1 and h2 are arrays, so we have to concatenate these three arrays. That's why we transform this into an array. What if the current length is even? Well, in this scenario we don't have an element in the middle, so we can do something very similar. The first half stays as it is, and for the second half we go from n divided by 2 up to the end of the array. Here we don't have the element in the middle, and that's it. So let's submit this and see if it works. As you can see, this works and it's efficient enough. So if you found this useful, please drop a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.